Hi there, students. To boot out. To boot somebody out of somewhere. To make them go. To kick somebody out. To throw somebody out. To chuck somebody out. Okay, if you boot somebody out, you force them to leave. You don't allow them to continue with an activity. So there's an election coming up, and I think the current government is going to be booted out by voters. He was booted out of his job for making serious mistakes. Okay, so to boot somebody out, to chuck somebody out. The landlord chucked me out of the pub for fighting. Okay, so to force somebody to leave. Okay, so voters are going to boot out politicians who cheat on their wives. If somebody boots you out of an organisation, you're forced to leave. You're ejected. You're dismissed. So he was booted out. The landlord booted him out, to expel from a place, to eject. Okay, so to boot out, to kick out, to expel, to make somebody go. Okay, I was kicked out of the team for not turning up to training. Okay, I got kicked out of the cinema. I got chucked out of the cinema for throwing popcorn everywhere. So let's see, you're going to ask me, what's the difference between kick out, chuck out, throw out? Let's see, I think to throw out is probably the least informal. I think throw out I would give a 4.5 informality, maybe a 4. The troublemaker was thrown out of the club. To kick somebody out, slightly less formal, or slightly more informal, but very similar to throw out. To chuck somebody out, this is really very informal, maybe 3.5 informality. Okay, so to expel, to throw out, to kick out, to make somebody go. The troublemakers were booted out. Okay, to boot out, this is maybe a 4 informality, maybe a 3.5. I think boot out, chuck out, 3.5 informality, use informally. Throw out, kick out, maybe 4.5 informality. 2 members of the club were booted out for failing to pay their subscriptions. He was booted out of the house by his parents for his behaviour. The owners of the company have booted out the new CEO. The athlete was chucked out of the Olympics for taking performance enhancing drugs. Okay, so to boot somebody out of the club. The bouncers booted me out of the nightclub. So they made me leave, to boot somebody out. The president booted the French president booted out the prime minister. He was booted out of his position in the local council. Okay, the company booted out several non-executive directors. Okay, so to boot somebody out, to chuck somebody out. He was chucked out of the army. He was kicked out of the army for conduct unbecoming a gentleman. He was kicked out of the police force. He was booted out of the police force for being dishonest. So if somebody boots you out of an organisation, you're forced to leave. To expel. I was booted out of school for cheating in my exams. I think teachers would love to be able to boot kids out of class, to kick kids out of class. I was kicked out of class for being disruptive in the class. So they kicked me out. They booted me out. So it's a separable phrasal verb. So yeah, to boot out, the meaning is clear. With the foot, you kick them out, you throw them out, you chuck them out. To chuck is to throw as well. So boot out, kick out, throw out, chuck out.